Hello, I'm AC Cash, and this is
JD Boom.
and we're here on behalf of Pivot Point Investors, where we help the small business person earn a little bit of extra money through business investment, stock trading, real estate. All of those are wonderful topics.
Absolutely.
And so today we've been talking about the market, stock market, and we covered a few things on that. You know, it's a bull run. We're following that. But at the same time, we have so many friends who say, well, hey, I know you guys are heavy into the stock market, but what's going on with the real estate market? What's going on? And we happen to be headquartered here in Atlanta, Georgia. And while we're proud of the Dirty South, there's a lot of things going on throughout the nation. The interest rates are at an all-time low.
They are.
They are trading. They are just so low, it's almost criminal not to buy yourself a little real estate.
Or to refinance.
That's right. And one of my properties, we are going through a refinance. But understanding that even the criteria in this market, while the interest rates are low, the stipulations that you have to do are increasing.
Oh man, give an example. What's an example?
Well, before, at one point, before the first fall in 2008, you could just state your income, go in there, and they'll refinance, they'll finance you. You can get in super easy. But now, this is definitely not the same market because a lot of the banks and lending institutions have learned from their mistakes. And so now, with things pulling back as far as how the market is turmoil-wise, your ability to buy a property is a little bit more complicated because the stipulations in the lending criteria are raised. It should preclude us from saying, hey, I'm not going to invest, I'm not going to buy something new, I'm not going to refinance, but just understand that the time, it used to be maybe 30-day turnaround, maybe 45, today it could be 60 days.
Oh, wow.
So that's an important variable to consider when you talk about refinancing or even a new property purchase. So that's one part that's going on.
Right.
As far as the market itself, we're early while we're getting late in the pandemic part, we're still early in what the markets are going to do regarding prices of real estate.
Okay.
Prices have steadily been going up.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
But what goes up
Must come down.
must come down at some point.
That's right.
I don't believe we're there because of the stimulus that's been keeping people at work. But at the same time, all of this hedging back and forth, whether or not they're going to continue the PPP or give you another $1,200 to go blow on a car or some new clothes, we still haven't determined what we're going to do regarding these prices in the real estate market.
That's right.
And so with that understanding, you have to be cautious at this time because you could be buying at the top of the market, even with low interest rates. So that's something to consider. It's be aggressive, but be cautious.
Okay.
That's what I tell anyone in regards to the real estate market. So,
now, question: would
Yes,
that
sir.
change if you were a flipper or if you're a buy and hold? If those are your strategies as a real estate investor, would that answer you just gave change depending on what your focus and strategy is?
It would change because you have to determine how long you think this stretch is going to happen.
Okay.
So an immediate consideration is if we're in the third quarter, about to go into the fourth quarter of the year, sales are going to slow down just in general.
Right.
Year after year, they get slower now, they build up the beginning of the year. And so if you're a flipper, you're buying something right now, third quarter about to be into the fourth quarter. If you're flipping, if you're going to renovate it, 2 months in the renovation, and then you're going to put it on the market when?
End of the year.
December.
Yeah.
And hope somebody's grabbing December, take your kids out of school, buy a new house. A lot of those things don't happen as easy at the end of the year.
Right.
But it could be a 3-month renovation. You can get to December and then put it back on the market in late January, February. That's great. If you're a buy and holder, it's all about the price. It's all about the price. When you get in, if you're buying right, the market won't matter. If you're going to buy and hold and it's able to be renovated, or if it didn't need renovation, but you're into the property at a good value, that even if you say you're getting $1,200 a month,
Right.
now you're only getting $1,000. If you're still cash flowing at that point, it doesn't matter when you buy, because your goal is 5, 10 years down the road, 8 years down the road. You're gonna be happy because you bought right, and that's as far as location, buying right.
Okay.
So as long as you're buying right, you'll smile at the end of the party.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So what other nuggets do you have, for especially, it could be a beginner, flipper, or buy and hold strategy investor, could even be up to intermediate, just one or two best practices, or, I was thinking, man, your horror story, man, like if you even want to give them that right now.
Give that stuff. We'll see what we'll do. But it's important, really, in any business.
Right.
Going in, hey, your teamwork will make your dream work.
Okay.
So if your team's not right, you're only as good as your team.
So who's your team, man? Like what?
Well, your team it can be bottom up or top down. If you go top down, you're dealing with your attorneys. You're gonna have to close a deal somewhere. Your accountants, you need to understand your business structure when you buy the place, or even short term or long term, you have to buy it properly. When you talk about renovation, you got to have a good crew. Your money can fly out the door by having a bad contractor. A bad contractor is what's going to give you those gaps in your drywall. It's going to be seams in your crown molding. It's going to be a tile that people walk in the house and they had to turn their head to see if stuff is straight in there.
Oh boy,
it's an awful thing.
This sounds like experience talking right there.
Pretty much anything you name, I've probably been through. Yeah. I remember a house for sale, and I was partnering on the deal, and the guy didn't get the floors right. He really didn't level from underneath the house. It wasn't right, and the guy standing in the house, kind of bouncing on the floor, saying, something's not right. Something's not right. It's the same thing I've been telling that contractor. It's over 20 years ago, but I still hear the guy bouncing on the floor saying, it's something not right. Well, the guy didn't buy the place, and then we had to have the contractor go in there and see if the floors were level, and sure enough, they weren't level. The kind of thing where if you just drop a marble in the middle of the floor, all of a sudden it's rolling. It's rolling. That's a problem. And even if you can't quite visually see it, the marble's not going to lie, and the senses of the buyer just say something's not right. I don't know what it is, it's just not right. And so those kinds of things are what happens, and that's why additionally you can't look just through your lens. So it's easy for us to say, hey, I think it's great, it'll go at the top of the market. But it's a different thing to take a woman in there, or a younger person, or older person. A woman will say, I don't feel safe in the neighborhood. A woman will say, this color makes no sense. A younger person will say, well, I can't walk down the sidewalks. There's no sidewalks here. An older person will say, this hill is too steep. I can't walk out to my car. So if you either have all that experience or bring in a diversity of people to take a look at your deal, you'll find you'll be a happier person in the end. So you bring them in early, you don't have to cry later.
Wow, man. So Cash is giving y'all too much game as usual, man. I have to keep pulling him back, man. Like I didn't expect him to go that deep into it, but man, those are some incredible points, man. Yeah. Incredible points.
Once you start diving in, you feel like swimming.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Right.
Well, you covered a lot of great points, regarding some real estate investing fundamentals. I would say today, what's the last thing we want to leave our people with? Anything that comes to your mind regarding what we discussed earlier, just summarizing, kind of what the theme of this conversation regarding real estate investing has been.
Sure. If you do it right in the beginning, you don't have to regret it in the end. So that's going to be in the education, getting with teams, getting with mastermind groups, getting with groups like PivotPointInvestors, where we teach stock trading, teach business investment, those sorts of things. It doesn't have to be Pivot Point, wherever you get your strength from.
But I like the Pivot
You like Pivot Point?
I like
Okay.
Pivot Point.
Okay. Well, I'm with that. But if you get your information so that your education is strong in the beginning, that money it can find a home anywhere.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be in your house.
Oh boy, okay. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
So if you get your education early, then you won't regret it later.
That's right.
Getting your team right. Get your team right. You can say, well, you know, I'm not ready to invest. I don't have this, that. By the time it's time to invest, it's late to get the friends and the team together. Get your team together now. Offer them some value so they can offer you some value, even though you may not be ready to invest big money. And then really getting just your fundamentals of your goal. You know, if you don't have a goal, I can just head north right now, but I can't get to California. You know, I need to know my direction. So if I'm heading west, I know I don't care what I do. If I'm in the U.S. and I'm heading west, sooner or later, I'm hitting California.
That's right.
And so when you're investing, a lot of times people say, well, I just want to flip some houses. But then if you are looking at long-term wealth, flipping will get you a start there, but it won't get you all the way to California. Because every time you flip and you sell, now you're out of business. Now you're back prospecting to get another property. That's right. So you understand that if my goal is California, I got to hit each state. So flipping can get you to the next state. But Nirvana is, now I have wealth, so I can go to the Bahamas, go sleep, but I have residual income because I invested in long-term plays. So I knew my long-term goal in the beginning. So just understanding that perspective, what your goal is, because what you want to do might be totally different than what I want to do, even though your plan's good.
That's right.
Just not for me.
That's right.
We all can't marry the same girl.
Oh boy.
We can't drive the same car.
That's true.
So
Very
we
true.
definitely need to understand we have different goals.
That's right.
And age differences, all of those risk tolerance.
Yeah.
So all those things your team helps you determine, because we know we want to get to a better place.
That's right.
We just don't know the mechanisms to get there. And so, since you recommend Pivot Point, I'd say that's a good starting point. But wherever you get your information, get your education, get your team right, and then understand where you're going. So, for me, I won't want to overfill the bucket. I'm just going to leave a little on the side there. But as far as for today, Pivot Point Investors, what we're really pushing toward is people getting their education wherever you get it from, and being students of the game you want to play.
That's right.
A lot of games to play, but don't take a football to a basketball game.
Oh, you gotta have the right ball.
Yeah,
the right ball for
and
that
that's
game.
tools of the trade. So
That's right.
On behalf of Pivot Point Investors, I'm AC Cash.
And I'm JD.
Boom! And we're giving you those nuggets to grow on, your finances, your education, and just your teamwork, so we can help you make your dream work.